And since Nightfall amplifies the Dredge's other strengths, the survivor should have some sort of option other than simply bending over and relaxing so it doesn't hurt so much. It's honestly kind of crazy to me to think that stretch res was such a topic that behavior literally prioritized removing it over fixing the god-awful servers or hit validation that still exists in this game heading into year 6, but we have a killer that can literally make it to where I can't see anything on my screen for like 40% of a trial. Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q. It's about that time we get down and do what it do. Y'all know that when we have something that is on our mind, I have absolutely no problem speaking out about it. Whether it's like how we should be fixing boon totems without replacing them, where I essentially called for the change that DBD would inevitably end up making, well, kind of, to reacting about the MMR testing throughout the courses last year, to talking about why DBD needs to implement a scoring system like we see in competitive DBD and why that actually be healthy for the current state of the game. But we've got to have a very fair and honest conversation, because if I can keep it a buck with y'all, I love the aesthetic, the ambiance of the Dredge. It's different, but then as you peel away the layers of this base kit, it's honestly absolutely insane. But before I really get into digging through this, real quick, if you enjoyed the video and this is your first time through, make sure y'all smack that like button and leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can catch y'all back for some more DBD content in the future, because we're literally posting daily over here, wide range of content, and we're on the charge for 500 subscribers over here on YouTube as well. But back to the entity's favorite turkey. First off, the ability to teleport like across the map and see people in lockers who are not doing anything to help the survivor squad is huge, like really big positive for those of us actually trying to work on the objective. Like, real talk. Also, I'd even argue that the hag slash nurgs like blink sort of teleport with the remnant sort of idea isn't that strong and has some counterplay to it that isn't quite simply that boring shift W tech, right? But that's only when I can see like where in the actual F I'm going, which brings me to Nightfall, which I think is really what makes Dredge feel overly oppressive, because it has everything else in its base kit, right? Like, I've literally been in games where Dredges are like literally able to go from one Nightfall to the next without having to injure anybody, let alone when the killer is doing really good. Maybe not downing survivors, but the survivors are focusing on their objective and they aren't resetting. Those survivors do get punished significantly when it comes to the Nightfall. And honestly, I think that's okay. I think that's healthy. I think that allows for a very healthy decision, that back and forth, almost kind of like we see with the Plague, with the whole cleanse, don't cleanse sort of scenario, right? And I think this is where I can see a lot of people having an incredibly hard time with Nightfall, right? Because again, we can't see a flippin' thing, which like is cool. You get this whole feeling like this is how it should feel when a killer has an ultimate sort of ability like a Nightfall, right? But how often does a Dredge get his powers compared to, I don't know, like let's say a Michael Myers, where like it has the ability to completely shut down the game and changes the aspect of that whole killer versus survivor exchange in Dead by Daylight compared to like the normal of the trial, right? I mean, shoot, even take it into comparison with how often Trickster gets his ultimate during the course of a trial. And Showtime isn't even always beneficial to the killer. Like, there are times that people will obtain the Showtime but won't actually use it because it's not beneficial to use there, whereas Nightfall to the Dredge is always beneficial to the Dredge. And Nightfall lasts an entire minute. Again, this is already on top of a stacked kit that allows him to traverse the map with ease and shut down basically any loop with his remnant. It just seems like a bit too much. And don't even get me started on how Nightfall looks for console players, let alone like last gen console players, right? Like, they can't even use filters or reshade like we can use on PC. Then put those survivors on a dark indoor map like Midwich or inside the halls of like RCPD, and at that point, you just throw up your hands and GG, good luck next. Now, I've been able to explain all the strength of the Dredge, and that's not even counting how people are using like his powers on top of that to be the best return to hook killer maybe second to the hag, but there's no counter to it like crouching over the trap like you can with a hag, right? And did I mention that in Nightfall, I can't see a freaking thing? And that's on PC with filters. And I would like to think that I've got plenty of map knowledge between somewhere of like 2,500 hours in-game plus my time shoutcasting. And even I can't tell if I'm running towards the next tile or if I'm running into the edge map. It's just not healthy for the average player. And if players are telling you otherwise, they're just honestly enjoying the free dopamine rush from playing the dredge. But y'all know how we do over on this channel. We just don't simply sit here and scream, "Fix your game, devs." So how do you fix it? I think instead of hitting a hard nerf across any single part of his kit, I think you just have to make small adjustments all the way around. When you take into account how much stronger the dredge is in Nightfall, a minute is honestly just a bit much. Maybe scale this back to around 40-45 seconds. Also, it takes way too little to be able to progress a team into Nightfall. I'm okay with a dredge that's like firmly in control of a game being able to continually put a team into Nightfall. It's kind of like with an Oni in their power, right? The survivor should have the ability to like deprive the killer of their power or like freeze it. Again, kind of like when you think of how an Oni plays during their trial. Because otherwise, he still has the ability to traverse the map and shut down loops. So he should be able to get those health state changes as opposed to the Oni. And most importantly, like, turn the lights back on, dog. I'm not saying that I need to see everything, but let me see something. Again, I would like to think that I have more game sense and more map sense than the average bear, and I have zero sense as to what in the world I'm doing half the time while I'm in Nightfall. And when you take into account how often I'm in Nightfall, it's just absolutely redonkulous. I'm not saying that I should be able to see tiles ahead of me, but I can't even see the tile that I am looping. And since Nightfall amplifies the dredge's other strengths, the survivor should have some sort of option other than simply bending over and relaxing so it doesn't hurt so much. It's honestly kind of crazy to me to think that stretch res was such a topic that behavior literally prioritized removing it over fixing the god-awful servers or hit validation that still exists in this game heading into year 6, but we have a killer that can literally make it to where I can't see anything on my screen for like 40% of a trial. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, the dredge, just like the last original killer, the artist, just proves that multiple people high up in the decision-making ladder spend little to no time playing their own game. There's just no way that a killer with this much in their kit could be released to a game that continues to have issues retaining players. It's concerning to say the least, which is really sad because DBD has stood the test of time, which no other asymmetric horror game has been able to do. But maybe that's the same reason that they've appeared to have accepted complacency and just continue to bank on its spot atop the genre. Again, overall, just like the artist, the lore, the ambiance, the aesthetic of the killer is so dope. But the concept of the killer design itself with the base kit, that is just concerning to say the least. Like this continues to be like released into the game time and time again. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree that the dredge needs a nerf? Do you think that I'm just an entitled survivor main? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you do disagree, tell me why you disagree down below in the comments other than the fact that you just enjoy the free dopamine rush on the killer side. And again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget every like, comment, share. That all helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm, puts our content in front of more people as we do push for 500 subscribers over here on the channel where we are posting DBD content literally daily. But until we do catch y'all over here on the channel for the next one, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you in.